What the magical approach means. Once again, I'd like to remind you that much of what we are looking at here is paraphrased from the book The Magical Approach by Jane Roberts, a Seth book, which is the singular best treatment and arrangement that I could find on this topic. Now, the magical approach means that you actually change your methods of dealing with problems, achieving goals, and satisfying means so that it is natural in time rather than under the dictate of artificial time. It is a choice to commit to being in the now, in the present moment, regardless of what artificial time says. At first, this can trigger your old safety and security fears. If you have been taught throughout your life that to be a good person who is safe and accepted by society, you must obey artificial time above all else, then it is reasonable to expect that breaking this belief system may initially cause you fear. However, you can get past this fear with practice and a clear decision to commit regardless of so-called approval by society. Like all things, it is about practice. The magical approach begins with the realization and understanding of the fact that your true self, your mind, your spirit, and even your body and every cell in it continuously utilize information that is outside of artificial time. Your creaturehood appears within artificial time as we understand it, yet 99.9999% of its main work is done entirely outside of artificial time, behind our conscious awareness, in the multi-dimensional natural time. Even now, as you're listening to this message, there are vast aspects of your life that are being created and coordinated behind the scenes for you. The people you will meet tomorrow or next year, how your ears are hearing this message, how that message affects your future and your past, the experiences you will have, are all being created behind the scenes by your subconscious in aspects of life that are completely outside of artificial time. Manifesting is one such example of things that are created outside of artificial time to then appear in artificial time. The creation itself happens in natural time, not artificial time. In fact, some of your present moment choices affect your past as much as they affect your future. Like we said earlier, natural time flows in all directions, and it is the real time. Artificial time is made up by society. It is linear. It is important to keep that distinction in mind because most humans assume that artificial time is the real time. It is not. When you experience coincidence, luck, good fortune, synchronicity, these are all examples of things created outside of artificial time, created in natural time. Then eventually you come to realize that everything in your life is being created by your spirit behind the scenes from dimensions that you are not even consciously aware of, and only at the appropriate time do they pop into your life in artificial time. And now we can begin to recognize life or nature as mankind's caretaker. The old corrupt model of man versus nature collapses. Becoming a natural person is a realization of the truth of the fact that life is, always and in all ways, the human being's caretaker. Now, your natural self is very prominent and is in fact the bulk of who you really are. It therefore strongly resents any basically meaningless constraints placed upon its experience of life. It knows, for example, how to enjoy each day, how to collect creative insights from each and every encounter, how to enrich itself through culturally accepted and even unaccepted activities, and so on. It dislikes being told that it must work at a job it is not aligned with, or that it must submit to unreasonable restraints of whatever kind, whether they are cultural, social, religious, political, familial, or otherwise. This is where you get the rebel and the heretic aspects of the personality arising, for example. It is a tension felt between the natural self and the socialized self. The natural self that flows effortlessly in natural time, and the social or socialized self that is conditioned within artificial time. The challenge here is that we desire freedom, and we know deep inside us that we were born to be free, but then something happened. Yet we also believe that if we take that freedom, it will somehow be dangerous for us. We believe that. We feel caught between a rock and a hard place. We desire freedom, but we are afraid to take it. The old beliefs, of course, and the artificial approach are everywhere reinforced, and so it does indeed have a great weight and influence in our lives. Yet the magical approach has far greater weight if you use it and allow yourselves to operate in that fashion, for it has the weight of your basic natural orientation. Always remember that the artificial approach is the superimposed one, and as powerful and threatening as it may appear with its social reinforcements, it is nothing against the natural one.